Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I just created this eye look for you guys. I am going to be reviewing the LauraLee Los Angeles Nudie Patootie eyeshadow palette. She announced it on her channel. I will have her channel and the palette linked in the description bar. When she had first showed the palette on her channel, I didn't know really what to think about it, and I think the more and more I saw it being reviewed by Glamgore, Kristen Leanne, and the one that really sold me was Raw Beauty Christy. Looking at the palette, it does lean more towards a cooler tone palette. I know there are a lot of people that like to create warmer looks, and I try to step away from that sometimes. I did use most of the mattes and two of the shimmers, not the metallic shadows. I wanted to do something that was a little different from what a bunch of other people reviewing the palette used. A lot of people use the more metallic shades, the ones that she said to use with a wet brush or glitter glue. I wanted to use one of the shimmers that didn't require that. I did, however, wet my brush when applying the shimmer shadows onto my lids, and it came out beautiful. I feel like they do give off a foiled look. I'm going to first do swatches, and this is my take on swatches. I don't feel like swatches show you the true quality of what a shadow can do, because when you're using matte shadows, you're going in with a fluffier brush and you're blending the shadow out. Unless, of course, you're doing like a smoky eye and packing the shadow on your lid. I really don't think swatches show anything but the actual color of the shadow. I just don't think swatches do much of anything, to tell you the truth. But I know people like to see swatches, so I will go ahead and insert some swatches. I am going to just use my fingers. I'm not going to use a brush. And then after the swatches, I'm going to go ahead and do a tutorial on this eyeshadow look and let you guys know how I think the shadows work. And then we will come back at the end and I will tell you guys my full thoughts and opinions on the actual eyeshadow palette. So let's go ahead and get into the swatches. Alright guys, since I'm really bad at swatches, the top row is actually the bottom swatches and the top swatches are the bottom row of the palette. We're just going to start with the bottom row. The first shadow is Exposed, and it's described as a shimmer age pewter. It sort of has like those chunky glitters in it, so I would say that this is one of the ones that I would use with a wet brush or glitter glue. It's super pretty. I did use this in my eye look, and it's sort of like a taupey brown color, or like a gray taupe color. The next swatch is Au Naturel, which is described as a royal bronze foil with gold reflex. This is the one that she says that is best used with glitter glue or a wet brush, and I would agree. It does have sort of flakes in it, so it's like a pressed foiled shadow. The next one after that is Revealed, which is described as a matte taupe brown. It is very creamy. It did swatch very nicely. And then the next one is called Jaybird. It's described as a fiery copper foil with gold reflex. Again, this is pretty chunky, so she suggests using this with glitter glue or a wet brush. The swatch after that is Butt Naked. It's described as a matte warm brown. The one after that is called Buff, which is a shimmer rich chocolate. And the next one after that is Nakey Nakey, which is described as a matte walnut brown. Now with the bottom swatches, the first swatch is Stark, which is described as a shimmer ivory white. It's very frosty. The next one is Undressed. It is described as a matte honey nude. The one after that is Topless. It is a shimmer chrome pink with gold reflex. I did use this one in my eye look as well. The one after that is Streaking. which is described as a matte dark bisque. The one after that is called Uncover. It's described as a shimmer soft pearly champagne. The one after that is Strip. It is described as a matte golden mustard. And the last swatch is Bear, which is a matte salmon peach. Now that you guys have seen the swatches, I'm going to go ahead and put this eyeshadow palette to the test. I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush like this. I'm going to dip into Strip. And I just tap in 3 times and I have a little bit of product. I'm just going to tap it off and then apply it in my transition area. And just really build up that color in this area right here. Kind of going in like a dome shape. Just really diffusing it and blending it out. I noticed when I was doing this side of my eye that they do blend out very nicely. They're very pigmented. And easy to work with. I'm going to dip in one more time, tap off the excess, and I dip in the same amount of times with each application. I just do 3 taps and then I tap off the product. Very light taps too. Alright, that's what the color strip looks like built up. I did tap into the product 3 times and then just blended it out. Now I'm going to go in with Bear, which is a nice peachy sort of nudie kind of color. And 3 taps in, tap off the excess, and I'm just keeping this on the lower part of strip. I forgot what it was called already. And this just sort of gives it a really nice warmth, and it also helps deepen up the color. Since we already have that transition color down, I'm going to dip in one more time and then just leave it. I'm dipping again one more time, 1, 2, 3, tap off the excess, and just really diffuse that color, building up the transition area. Now I'm going to clean off my brush a little with a towel that I have on hand. There's no more product on my brush. I'm just going to go on the outer parts of the eyeshadow and soften it up a little. Just making sure there's no harsh lines. I'm then going to go in with this brush. This is a BH Cosmetics number 6. It's a fluffy brush, but it has more of a taper in it. And I'm going to go into Butt Naked. I always tap in 3 times and then I tap off the excess. And this one I'm going to first build up the outer part of my lid right here in this kind of V area, or C, however you like to place your shadow. Alright, now that I have the color placed where I want it, I'm going to go back in with that blending brush and I'm going to dip into Bear and Strip at the same time, just 1 tap each. And I'm sort of patting this on the outer part of where I place that shadow just to help diffuse the color and blow it out a little bit. I am using very, very light pressure to help blend this out. And then I'm going to go back in with that small tapered brush and Butt Naked. And I'm just taking this on the outer part very lightly. Then going back in with that blending brush, no additional product, just going over the edges. Now I really want to build up the outer V of my eye. I'm going to go in with a Morphe M506. It's a really small, tiny little tapered brush like this. I freaking love this brush. If you love to do like really detailed work like cut creases, or you have really small eyes or hooded eyes, brushes like this are really nice. They help you really get in there and define the eyeshadow looks. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going into Nakey just a little bit, and I'm keeping this on the inner part of this eye look right here. And instead of doing like a V shape, I'm actually doing more of a C shape because of the way my eye is shaped. So I'm just taking this and I'm keeping it on the inner part of my C. And I'm sort of bringing this color into the crease area, not all the way in. I would say about a third of the way, just to give a little more definition. And then I'm going to take the same brush, I'm going to clean it off on my towel, and I'm going to go back into Butt Naked just a little bit. I'm going to tap in only once, and then I'm going to go on the sides right here just to help blend that color in. And then I'm going to go back in with the clean blending brush and go over. I find that when you sort of like wipe off your brushes in between eyeshadow applications, that it helps blend a lot better, and it also decreases the chance of your eyeshadow getting muddy. I feel like when people use cooler or neutral tones, their eyeshadows tend to get muddy because they use the same brush for every single color, and it kind of just starts to melt together. Not saying that this is a super cool toned eyeshadow look, but that's just something to keep in mind. I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm actually going to go back into Strip and do little circular motions on the outer part. I just want to keep that warmth a little more. And then I'm actually going to go back into Bare as well and sort of tap that and then do little circular motions around the edges. And because I love a cut crease, I'm going to take my NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer in the color Beige. And this is a Wet n Wild smudger brush. It's really small and precise and tiny. I'm just going to take a little bit of that. And I'm actually trying to do a different shape. As you can see here, it's a little more rounded. So hopefully I can recreate the same thing on this side. Because this concealer is so thick, I'm just taking my middle finger and just tapping it out, trying to pick up the excess. In the palette, I feel like everybody was using the more foiled, like the really pressed foiled eyeshadows when they do the tutorials, and I wanted to go on a different route. So I'm going to go in with a flat brush like this. This is also from BH Cosmetics. It's the V18 and it's super flat like this. I'm going to go in with Topless. And with all shimmer shadows, I always use a little bit of setting spray or like a facial mist. I'm going in with my Pure Lescent Rose Water Spray. You can get this at TJ Maxx. I really like to use this to help like intensify shadows and stuff. First, I actually went in with this color and I thought it was going to be fine, but I wanted it to be a little more of a cooler tone eye look. So I ended up going with something else on top of it. But I do love this color. Of course, if you like this color and you like the way this looks, I would just go in with Butt Naked and Nakey again and sort of blend the edges. But since I wanted it to be a little more of a cool tone look, I'm going in with Expose with the same brush, just picking up the product, and I have it here. I'm going to go ahead and spray my brush again. And then this is going to go on top of Topless. And because I want that cranberry color, or the light kind of rose gold color to sort of shine through, I'm going to go back in with Topless just a little bit, and I'm going to put that on top of Exposed. I'm gonna go back in with the BH number 6, and I'm gonna go into Butt Naked and help diffuse. I'm going back in with the Morphe brush and Nakey. So I'm not a huge fan of shimmery brow bone highlights, so I'm going to go in with my contour palette. This is from Koki. I'm just going to take that middle shade, it's like a yellow shade, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone. This is the eye look as it is now without the lashes, and I don't think I'm going to do liner or anything. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, finish my face, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about the palette. So this is the completed makeup look with my full face and lashes and everything. I really love the way my makeup came out today. I typically don't do cooler tone eye looks on my channel, but I just love the way this eye makeup came out. It came out super nice. It was really easy. The shadows blend really easily, and I feel like they're pretty pigmented for being, I mean, like if you look at them in the pan, they don't look like they're going to be as pigmented. It looks like a shadow that you'll have to actually build up. I don't actually mind that because I do typically build up my shadows in my crease and my transition area. I feel like it's easier to add product than it is to actually take it away. This is the unit carton, so this is what your palette is going to come in. It's like a blush color, like a cooler mauve blush color, and LauraLee Los Angeles is in like this rose gold font. And then it has this sort of, I don't know what type of graphic design this is, but you know, when you kind of move it, it's like really, the Nudie Patootie is really glossy, and then like I said, the packaging is like a mauve blush color that kind of ombres into this lighter pink. It does have the ingredients in the back, and then the logo, as you can see here, and then it says it has her Instagram and her YouTube, and then it says it has a 12-month shelf life and it's cruelty free. This is the palette, and it has the same idea as the unicorn, where it's like a darker mauve blush color and it ombres into an almost white. Here is the logo right here, LauraLee Los Angeles, and then it says Nudie Patootie. And the actual name of the palette, it's like raised on this kind of like soft matte packaging. I really like the way it feels. It feels like NARS packaging. And then on the back, it has LauraLee Los Angeles, distributed in Valencia, California. It has the net weight of the entire palette. And then, of course, her social media, Instagram and YouTube. This packaging is recyclable. It has a 12-month shelf life and it's cruelty free. When you open the palette, it is super reflective, so you do get a huge mirror, and then of course the shadows. This is what the palette looks like. As you can see, the colors do look pretty muted when you actually look at it. Like even in person, I know my light might be like kind of washing it out a bit, but it does, like when you first look at this, you look at it and you're thinking it's probably not going to be my cup of tea. The colors look really muted. I don't know if this is going to show up on darker skins. That was one of the questions that I think a lot of people had when they saw this palette, because they do look very pastel, like especially this color right here, which is Reveal and Undressed, and then I think this one's called Streaking right here. Does look like they probably wouldn't show up very good on deeper skin tone. I don't know if there are people with deeper skin tones that are reviewing this palette. If I see any, I will try to link it down in the description bar. Along with the palette, you do get this little card which has LauraLee right here, and then in the back it shows you all the shades, all the shade names, and then it has this little note at the bottom that tells you what shadows are used best with glitter glue and a wet brush, and those colors are Au Naturel, which is like a gold bronze color, and then the next one is Jaybird, which is a copper foil with gold reflex in it. I just went on LauraLee's website just to read a little bit about the palette to you guys. Say hello to the Nudie Patootie eyeshadow palette, our first 14 well palette featuring 8 mattes, 4 shimmers, and 2 foiled eyeshadows. This palette provides creamy, easily blendable eyeshadows and offers an extensive range of neutrals with a few pops of color. The Nudie Patootie eyeshadow palette is designed to be versatile enough for an everyday makeup look, or simply add a foiled shade to make any makeup look pop. These highly pigmented pressed powder eyeshadows combine to make the perfect palette for any level makeup enthusiast. It's vegan, cruelty-free. It also has the ingredients on the website. I know a lot of people like to have the ingredients on hand, so it's really easy to find. And like I said, it's in the back of the unicorn. This palette does retail for $45, and you are getting 14 eyeshadows. Each eyeshadow is 1.65 grams. That is 0.06 ounces. Keep in mind, you are getting 2 foiled eyeshadows, 4 metallics, and 8 mattes in here. I do agree with the claim that it said it's an everyday palette. You can do everyday looks with this, and you can amp up your looks and do more of a nighttime look. If you want to use this palette for work, you could put a little bit of Strip and Bare in your crease and maybe like a shimmer on your lid, and then pop on some mascara and go. They do blend very nicely. I'm telling you guys, these shadows are so easy to work with. They build up so nicely, and I honestly did not have any problems blending them out on my lids. $45 is a lot of money for makeup. If you can afford to splurge or treat yourself, I would go ahead and purchase this palette. I don't think you will be disappointed at all. This palette really did surprise me with the pigmentation and how well the shadows do really blend out. I know she has another palette, the Cat's Pajamas or something like that. I did not pick up that palette. It's not, visually looking at that palette, it's not something that I would gravitate towards. It is much of a more warmer toned palette. I feel like most people do already have a bunch of those shades in their collection. And honestly, this is something that I don't really have in my makeup collection, so I really wanted it. I hope this helped you guys figure out if you want to purchase this palette and add it to your collections. I feel like this is such a nice palette, and I'm excited to create more looks for you guys. As always, if you have any questions or requests, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section down below. If you guys have any questions about what I have on my face, I will have everything in the description bar. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that ring bell notification so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching my review. I hope it helped you guys out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.